Good morning, everybody. I hope we're all doing good. It's your girl Sika in the house. It's another day, and it's time for us to have a chit chat and hopefully go away with something that's going to help us educate and elevate ourselves as a people. So, good morning, everybody that is here. In this life, we are all made to come and fulfill destinies, to change lives, to do things that make us happy and bring us so much joy and accomplishment. You want to leave the surface of this planet with a massive impact about how life has been for you and the things that you've been able to do. But one of the things that would absolutely help you in your quest to make the life that you want, the things that you're desiring, the things that you want to see happen and come into fruition in your life, is being in good health. Unless you're not uncomfortable, unless you're not feeling any discomfort in your body, it's very difficult for you to do anything. If you've watched this channel for any length of time, one of the things that I'm absolutely passionate about is to have friends and family here on social media. Good morning, Eve. How are you doing? Good morning, my brother Da Costa. Good morning, Priscilla. Good morning, everybody. Is that having been through a lot of dis-ease and discomfort myself, I know what it feels like to be lying on a sickbed and not be able to do simple, basic, fundamental things for yourself, and having to rely on other people to live your life. And so I'm very passionate about wanting to see my friends and family here on social media also have and experience decent, healthy living and be comfortable in everything in our lives. There's so many things that happen to us as people, whether you like it or not. As long as you live here, you've one time or another felt some discomfort or some dis-ease in some part of your body. For some people, it's ended them having to go into hospital to get treatment. For some people, it was something that I guess resolved itself after time. But one of the things that I've found is that when you're feeling some discomfort in some part of your body, a lot of the times, it's just kind of giving you a warning that there is something fundamentally and more serious on the grassroots level that needs to be taken care of. The pain that you're feeling is not the actual symptom. It's not the actual illness that you're going through. It's just a symptom of a far deeper reaching issue that you're feeling in the core of your being that needs to be dealt with. And that is why we have all the uncomfortable situations that we find ourselves into. Good morning, everybody, once again. But the thing that I really wanted us to talk about today is something that we hear a lot about: high blood pressure, hypertension, and those kinds of things. Those words are thrown about willy-nilly, and we don't really even understand a lot of the times what that actually means for us as people. So when you go to the medics and they sit you down and say, today we have to check your blood pressure, what do they actually mean? Just bear with me a second. So this is the kit that you would normally, they'll put this on you and then say that they want to check your blood pressure. What are they doing? They take a number and they tell you, oh, your blood pressure is 140/90, or your blood pressure was 128/80. What does that actually mean for us as people? Like when you go and you have your blood pressure taken, what does it mean? There's two readings that come out of it. The number on the top the systolic number. And then there's a number on the bottom, which is the diastolic number. The number on the top is the pressure in your blood, as in your body, as your heart is beating. So that's boom, boom. That's that pressure of the heartbeat and the blood flowing into the different parts of your body. What is the pressure as that is happening in your body? That is the systolic number, the higher number on the top. Now, the diastolic number on the bottom, in those brief split seconds when your heart is resting, because when it beats boom, there's a break, then another boom comes. The gap between those two booms when your heart is beating, that also has a pressure. So what is the reading of the pressure when the heart is resting in between those split second rest periods that your heart has? What is the pressure reading at that time? What happens to your blood at that time? So it's capturing what happens when it's beating and what happens when it's resting, so that we can have a measure to see how, the force with which your blood is circulating throughout your whole body. Because every single part of your body needs to have blood circulation, because the blood contains oxygen, and all the cells in the different parts of our body needs oxygen to be able to survive. If you're past your 30s, some people actually have these issues even down into their 20s. But once you hit your 30s and counting, and you look like me, people that have the skin color that I have, of African or black descent, unfortunately for us in our genetics, and there's still a lot of research going on as to why that is the case, we already have or are more susceptible to having issues relating to our blood pressure. Hypertension has a lot of different names, but one of the popular ones is that it's a silent killer. And the reason for that is that it doesn't typically give you any symptoms. You feel fine, you can still walk, you can still do everything. And so it doesn't typically show you any symptoms for a long period of time. By the time it starts showing you symptoms, oftentimes, a lot of things have gone wrong. So this whole hypertension thing, what at all causes it? How is it that it's come about? And the truth about it is that 1.2, 1.3 billion people on the surface of this planet are suffering from some kind of blood pressure related issues, and it's normally the higher of the blood pressure. Some people have low blood pressure as well. We'll come to that one day, but today we are talking about the higher blood pressure, the hypertension, when the rate at which your heart is beating and pumping out blood versus what it does when it's resting is not fantastic. Now, what are some of the things that cause this whole blood pressure issue to even, begin in the very first place? One of the things that is very common is that some of us eat a lot of salt. We like salty foods. Like, salt is the thing that allows or enables you to taste what you're eating, what you've cooked. So if you've made a pot of egusi, you want to taste everything in that thing. When you add sodium to it, you can actually taste it. You can taste the food that you've eaten. So it's palatable for you to have. However, if you have too much of everything is bad. So if you have too much salt consumption in your body, it is not a safe thing to do. And it's one of the things that leads to the higher pressures in what your heart is doing when it's pumping blood into all the different parts of your body versus what it's doing when it's at rest, those split-second rests that we talked about earlier. So salt consumption, excessive amounts of salt consumption is not a good thing for us. The number two thing is that, unfortunately, whether you like it or not, as long as you're born, there's going to come a time when you're not going to be here anymore. And so in those times, between the day you're born and the time you're not here anymore, we are aging. There was a time when I was 5 years old. Today, I'm in my 40s. There was a time when you were 10 years old. Today, you're in your 20s or 30s or 50s, maybe even older. Whatever your situation happens to be, aging is something that you can't get away from. You can't run away from it. Whether you like it or not, we will all age, and we are all aging. Now, the problem is this, is that as you age, unfortunately, your body starts to, go through wear and tear. And so the arteries in your body through which the blood is flowing, it also starts to harden over time. Atherosclerosis is what it's called. And unfortunately, it happens to the best of us. We're all going to grow. We're all going to age. Whether you like it or not, it's coming. It's something that happens to us. So if blood is flowing or being pumped through your arteries and your arteries are hardening, it means that it's not flexible enough for blood to be able to go through it as comfortable and as easily as it would have done if it wasn't hardened up and so, not malleable for the blood to, meander its way through it. So that means that it now your heart has to pump it at a higher pressure in order for whatever blood and therefore oxygen to come to all the different parts of your body. That is elevating the pressure and therefore the hypertension issues that we are talking about here. Number 3, if you look like me, you have the skin complexion that I have with melanin inside of you. Whether darker, lighter, it doesn't matter as long as you're of African or black descent. Unfortunately for us, our genetics mean that we are more susceptible to having hypertensive related issues, whether we like it or not. This is just how we've been made. So we have to just take that one and do something about it. The other thing as well is that, there's this saying that too much of everything is bad for us. So too much salt is bad for you. Too much alcohol is also bad for you. We all have that glass of wine, maybe a glass of Baileys or something once a while. If you drink alcohol, that is what I'm saying. If you don't, hey, each to their own. But too much of everything is bad. There are some people who have to brush their teeth with alcohol when they wake up, alcoholics. There are some people who can't go through a day or even eat food if they haven't had alcohol first. I have to have appetizer. That is an illness that needs treatment on its own. But if you're somebody that consumes a high amount of volumes of alcohol, you're also going to be more susceptible to these hypertensive related issues that we're talking about today. Again, if you are more prone to being on the bigger side as a person, like your body mass, if you're obese or if you're bigger, you have excessive weight. That also now means that because, you occupy a lot more space, this tiny heart of yours has to do a lot more work to make sure that every inch of you is getting oxygen through your blood. So it has to do a lot more work of pumping in order for that to happen. Let's not forget that our heart is also just, muscle and tissue that is doing all this work. And so the more it has to pump more, it has to constrict and also let out the blood with the oxygen in it. Let's not also forget that means that as time goes on, your heart becomes inflamed, which means that cavity that your heart was originally made to fit in, now the heart has become enlarged. So it's not fitting properly in that cavity anymore. The cavity doesn't get bigger. The heart gets bigger. If you have, obesity issues, or you've put on a lot of unhealthy weight that you're not shedding over time, So now when you take too few steps, you're so out of breath, you're almost about to pass out because your heart has to do extra work in order to get oxygenated blood that has oxygen in it, to the different parts of your body. That's a lot of work. The force with which the blood is pumping, that is the pressure. Because if your heart is not pumping quickly enough, the blood will not be able to flow to the different parts of your body. It needs a push, a force, in order for that to happen. So that is what our heart is doing. We don't think about it, but for the last 40, however many years of my life, my heart has been doing that since my mother gave birth to me. On one winter's night, back in Kasholton. On and on till now. And for you too, however old or young you are, from the day you were born, your heart has been doing that without you thinking about it all this time. Good morning, Pastor Patience. Good morning, Sister Nancy. Good morning, Sister Rhonda. I hope everybody is doing good. Another thing is that when you are not moving your body, some of us today, because, of all the technology and everything, our forefathers used to be very active people, right? They went out there, they were hunters, they were gatherers, they were farmers, they were fishermen, they were doing all kinds of things in order to be able to feed themselves and their families, both men and women. They had huge farms. They wake up in the morning and for 12 hours solid, they're weeding, they're doing this, they're planting. In today's world, even the farming has become very mechanized. And so, all those excessive physical exertion on your body, a lot of the things are done by machines now. Combined harvesting, tilling the land, all of those things. There are machines that do all of those things for us now. So it has become more sedentary, our kind of living, than, the active lifestyle. You work in an office, you just pack your bag, sit in your car, drive to work. The only walking you do is from your car, the car park, to your office. Maybe you go and pee in between, eat lunch, come back, sit down for long hours, because now you have to touch a computer and do all kinds of things, to type, to whatever. And that is how a lot of us are working now. So if your work doesn't involve you having to exert yourself, that means that you're not exercising your body, your heart, and, elevating the heart rate. A bit of elevation is a good thing to keep the blood flowing and things circulating, things movement. The human body was made for motion. So the more sedentary your lifestyle, the more you're sitting down and not really doing anything much, and you're just walking around and you're just there. It means that you're just allowing every part of your body to just be just slump in a chair or whatever, or lying down even. But it's made for motion. The body was made, that's why we have legs. It was made for us to keep moving. So if you're a sedentary type worker like me, you have to find ways of keeping your body moving, keeping it moving. I'll tell you a story. Pastor Patience and I found each other on social media, and it's been 15 months since, we've had that close connection through Redox, and I'll come to that. But there's a reason why I'm telling this story. And throughout this whole, getting together and talking, and her helping me as my health coach, as my life coach, and all of that, there came a time when the conversation about, how I was feeling had to be had. Because I work long hours, but a lot of my work is very sedentary. It's all in the brain. It's my brain that gets tired, not so much my physique. But what was happening was that because I wasn't moving my legs as much as I should, I was having a lot of fluid retention and, like numbness and pins and needles in my legs. Now I figured out a way. Okay, so I work all this. So how can I, combine working with keeping my legs moving? There's a nice equipment that, thank God for scientists, they made the QB bike. So you're sitting down, it's something you can actually put underneath your desk whilst you're working. And you're still moving your legs. It's like I'm sitting, but I'm cycling and I'm talking and I'm typing and I'm working. Even as I'm talking to you guys right now, I am cycling. And it's helped. It's like the revolutionary thing that made a huge difference to my living and being healthy and having the life that I deserve to have. The body was made for motion. So keep it moving all the time. The QB bike. Exciting. So whatever you need to do to adapt yourself to, your own lifestyle and do the things that are needful for you to keep yourself moving and exercising, do the said thing. Because that motion, that cycling that is happening throughout the day, it's 10-hour days, 12-hour days, 15-hour days of sitting down. The blood circulation is still going. It still gives you a bit of elevation in your heart rate and all of that. And it's all helping you to be that person that you deserve to be. Pastor Patience, God bless you so much. Please, please, please share this video. And by the way, before I forget, Pastor Patience has a platform on Facebook. Her name on social media, on Facebook, is Patience O. Edwards. That platform has taught me so much that I never even had an idea about. Pastor Patience, by her name, is a pastor, a minister of the gospel of God. That's one thing. She is a business strategic coach. If you're listening to me today and you want to set up your business and you don't even know how to do it, I am telling you that Pastor Patience can help you do that. Number 3, she is a cellular health coach. She's been trained. She has all the know-how. She can answer all your questions. For those of us who want to start Redox, the journey of Redox, she helped me. So the only person I know and can vouch for is her, because she helped me. And I'm still on my journey. I'm still recovering. I'm still healing every single day. I've been on Redox for 15 months. So please, if you want any platform that's going to teach you something, that's going to help you, expand your knowledge in this life, you can never know it all. I recommend that you go and you follow Pastor Patience. You go and send her a request that you want to be her friend so that you can learn from her. She's helped me a lot. There's a time and a place to talk about all of that, but today I just wanted to remind somebody that has heard me talk about Redox so much and wants to also, what is this Redox? If you want to know more, that is the platform to get the education that you need. She talks a lot about Redox. I always go to her channel and, listen to what she has to say, because she is very knowledgeable in that area. She's very open about, the things that she's experienced using Redox herself, and also, being somebody that has had the training and qualification to be able to do it. So please, please, if you're looking for a platform that's going to educate you and help you to broaden your horizon, that is where you need to go. I beg of you. So let's put that to one side and now come back to what we're talking about here. One of the things that also causes us to have elevated blood pressures is stress. Now, that is something that you and I both are all, having a lot of difficulty keeping a handle on. One thing that I wish we didn't have to do is to grow up. I wish I could go back to being a child. I remember calling my mom yesterday and I said to her, Mom, this life of growing, there's nothing exciting about it. I want to go back to when I was 7. And you just tell me, come and sit down, your lunch is ready, and you just eat your food and read a book and go play with your friends outside. I want to go back to that time. Unfortunately, I can't. The pressures and the stresses of life are multiple. There's so many on different levels. Work is demanding of your attention. If you're married, your spouse is demanding of your attention. If you have children, your children are demanding of your attention. Because when you have a family, it's not just about you anymore. When your children are sad, you're sad too. When your children are unwell, you're unwell too. So there are all kinds of things that are demanding of our time. If you have aging parents, you have to worry about them as well. So many things. Their friends, their family, all kinds of things that are demanding of our time and our attention. And we only have 24 hours in a day. And we still have our own lives to be getting on with too. But at the end of the day, the only thing that gives you the peace of mind and the clarity of thought is that, hey, yeah, there are all these things that are demanding of my attention. But I can only give something that I have myself to other people when I spend the time and prioritize me and my needs first. You can't love everybody else and leave yourself out of it. And if worrying on its own solve problems, then I'll advertise worry all over the place. Less worry because worry solves problem. Less worry. But worry doesn't do anything. It just, leads to you producing more cortisol into your bloodstream, the stress hormone. And it doesn't do you any good. It just goes into your different cells and the different parts of your body and destroys things that are there. Cortisol makes you anxious. You're always in this panic and anxiety mode. Nothing good is going to come out of that kind of place. So I know it's easier said than done. But keeping a handle on stress and saying to yourself that, look, this particular situation, I can't do anything about it. So let me just pray to God about it. Let me just be safe and heal myself. And let God do the rest. There's so many things that we worry so much about, but we can't do anything about it. And we're sitting there and worrying and thinking and not sleeping at night all the time, elevating your blood pressure. But when it comes down to it, it's only you that is going 6 foot under, not anybody else. You. So you have to prioritize your own self and your own wellness and your own healing and your own self to be able to be there for everybody else as well. I know it's easier said than done. I know it's hard, but it's something that I'm very conscious about it because I worry a lot about other people's issues and stop worrying about my own. And I've made a conscious effort now to say I matter too. I matter too. I can't love everybody without loving myself first. And so that is what I am prioritizing in 2024. Me first. Because if I can't look after me, I can't look after you. And it's something that I think, a concept that I think you should also consider if you want to have this best life and have the longevity that life has to offer you. The other thing that I wanted to talk about here is that you have to prioritize your health and wellness if you have any intention of living on the surface of this planet for any length of time. If you're just thinking that you just, be walking up and down and then your time will come and you won't be here anymore, okay, then maybe I'm not talking to you. But if you want to fulfill the number of your days, if you want to live long enough to see your grandchildren and everything, then prioritizing your health is something that is non-negotiable for you. The number 2 thing is that it is going to cost you something, just like everything else does. Investing in your health. It's not free. It's not free. It will cost you something. But the way I look at it is, what is the alternative? I want to live. I want to be able to travel. I want to be able to say, hello, Pastor Patience. I think I want us to go to the Caribbean tomorrow. How do you, let's just book a flight and go. And then we're on the plane and we're gone. But I won't be able to do that if I don't live long enough and are healthy enough, have the strength to even walk from my car to the airport, to go book that flight, to sit on the plane. If they now have to push me or put me on some kind of a stretcher, how am I even going to travel? Would I even enjoy myself? Nothing is going to happen for you unless you prioritize yourself and your health and make yourself matter. Let's face it, look, you're working so hard. You're paying your rent, you're paying your mortgage, you're paying your utilities, you're feeding yourself, your children, and all of that. Those things are all important things. But how are you going to live this life and continue to make sure that you're keeping all these illnesses we're talking about at bay, like let it go far away from you, if you're not prioritizing your health and making sure that you're doing everything humanly possible to ensure that this strength that you have today, this energy that you have today, this, physique that you have today, you can still maintain that for several years to come. If you're not investing in yourself and in your health, how are you proposing to do that? And there's so many of us who would, gladly go to the hospital when we're not feeling too good. And I'm not saying you shouldn't. That's the first thing you should do. I would. But when you go there, they will do everything and they'll tell you this is your issue and you need this and you need that kind of medication. We don't ask any questions. When you go to the doctor and he tells you, you need to take X, Y, Z, you don't ask him no questions. Oh, you need to have, your blood sugar level is so high, I need to give you metformin because we need to control your blood sugar. We don't ask no questions. You don't go and say, so this metformin that you're giving me, what is in it? You just obey. Oh, yes, sir. Okay, I need to take metformin. Okay, so yeah, you have to take 10 milligrams 3 times a day because, we really need to keep handle on your blood sugar. You just take it. When you go to the pharmacy, you just give the prescription. Dr. X says, I have to take XYZ. Okay, I'll fill up your prescription. Please sit down. It will take you 10 minutes. And then when it's time, they call you. Hey, Sika. Oh, yes. Yeah, so this is your metformin. You have to take, you have to eat before you take it. And then you have to take this amount, this and this and this. And you just listen and you do it. You don't ask no questions. You don't ask what the active ingredients are, unless, of course, you're a medic and a scientist and somebody that pays attention. But you don't. You just go and accept everything that they've said to you as gospel. And you do that. Obey instructions to the T. However, the things that you can do for your own self, the things that you need to do for you, so that you yourself can help your body recover, like educating yourself, what we're doing today. A lot of us are not interested in the things that are going to help us to have the best life that we deserve. Now, the last thing that I wanted to say before I go into the main reason why I'm here today is that some excessive uses of medication, certain types of medications, can also be the thing that is elevating your blood pressure. There was a time in my life when I've had hormonal type issues. And when you have those kinds of conditions as a woman and you're having very severe symptoms, the doctors are helpless because they need to keep tabs on your blood flow and all of that. They might put you on certain birth control pills just to end the bleeding, just to, keep a handle on things. All well and good on that side. But on the flip side of that, and unfortunately, those types of medications are also known to elevate your blood pressure. So guess what? When you have birth control pills, the doctor will say to you, I would only prescribe this for you for 6 weeks or 3 months or whatever. I need to see you. Why? Because they need to check how much your blood pressure is elevated as a result of taking the medication. And if you go back and say, I'm having this numbness in my fingertips, then okay, I think we need to prescribe something else. So one thing is good for something, but then you're exchanging that for yet another thing. And a lot of medications, unfortunately, whilst they're life-saving, on one hand, would now give you other issues. So it's like, am I trading this off for this other one, or am I going to now have to live with both of them? I'm not knocking orthodox medicine. It has its place. It saved my life one too many times. But what I'm saying is that the only kind of health system that you should have in place, the health strategy that is good for us to have in place, is something that we have to do for ourselves, something that is natural, something that is native to us, something that is sustainable. Because as somebody that has had a lot of things happen to me in my lifetime, 17 incisions on my body, this poor body of mine, 17 times it's had a knife put on some part of it, whether internally or externally, 17 of them. This body has been battered and bruised. Oh, it's been through so much. My medication box, I don't want to even show it on social media. I almost did, but I decided not to because it's not funny. It's like that. And it has everything you can think about in there. But it's not sustainable because every day you have to pop that pill to make sure that you don't have this effect, and then you pop this other one so that you don't have that other effect. Where are you going? And there was a time in my life where I felt like a chicken. You know how chicken, when you put grains and they peck at it, that's how I felt. Because that's all I was doing, popping pills, boom, 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 every day. 3 times a day, I have to take 10 pills in the morning, take 12 in the afternoon, take 15 before you sleep, take some in between. Like, what kind of life is that? But that was me. And I've been looking for different kinds of things that I can do naturally. I need natural healing. Because natural stuff is the only thing that's going to heal my body and not give me no side effects. So I've been on this journey and quest looking for solution to different problems for a long time. I thank God every day. I thank God every day for the life of Pastor Patience. The fact that she wasn't selfish and said, I'm just going to use this thing. I'm just going to keep quiet about it. But she came out on social media. And that's how I got the opportunity to, one, know her, and secondly, hear what she had to offer me that has saved and done a lot of things in my own life. When I'm done with this, I would find that video that I did about sharing my life story, and I'll put the video's link on here so that those of us who missed it can go back and watch it. And you'd hear why I'm raving so much about, us being in good health on social media now. Because just like I have been uncomfortable, I know that there's so many of my brothers and sisters that are also living in pain, in silence, because you don't even want anybody to know your business. So you're struggling, but you have nobody to talk to about it, and you're just quiet. And little by little, it's taking you out inside But you have nobody to tell about it. You just go and they just give you the same pill. Oh, you're back again. Okay, here's your refill for the next 3-6 months. Let's check you up again in the next 3-6 months. And that is the end of the story for you. Now, one of the things that is going to save our lives in this generation is understanding and learning about cellular health. Because all along, all the different kinds of medical strategies, all the healing techniques and strategies that we've had are only treating symptoms. They're only dealing with the superficial side of things. Barely anything until now is going down to the grassroots level. So this elevated blood pressure, this weight gain, this sugar issue, this issue, that issue, what at all is causing it from the grassroots level? If you build a house that you want to be 11 stories high, the foundation for an 11-story building is different from the foundation for 1-story building. Because the load, the weight, the pressure that is coming from an 11-story building, it can never be the same as what is coming from 1-story building. And so in order to sustain all of that, all of you, we have to see what is going on deep, deep down in the foundations of yourself. And that foundation is the cells. Every part of our body, when we break it down to the minutest bit, it's a cell. So my eyes are made up of all kinds of cells, millions and trillions of cells. All this that you're seeing is trillions of cells that have come together to now be called my eyes, that I blink, I close, I open. Your nose, the same. Your mouth, the same. Your hair, the same. Cells everywhere. Trillions of it. That is the basic, most minutest part of our human body. Go and read your biology textbooks. Read your biology textbooks and it will tell you all about all of that. So I'm not just saying it, plugging it out of thin air. It's actually the truth of the matter that I'm telling you. Now, in the cell also has different parts of it. And one of the fundamental parts of your cell, on the minutest level of your cell, it breaks down. And there's something in there. There's a part of the cell there called the mitochondrion. The Americans say it different too, but me, I'm English. And so mitochondrion is how we pronounce that word. Now, the mitochondrion has a lot of different functions, but I'm just focusing on the two things that are very important to our human beings and our existence. One of them is that it is the part of the cell that is producing a lot of the energy that the cell needs to be able to operate. Sister Marcia, good morning. How are you, sweetheart? I miss you so much. Right? It is giving all the energy that the different cells need. So if it's my eye, all the cells in my eye need to close. This eye needs to close. So yeah, it's giving the energy for my eyes to close and open when I want it to. And the brain is signaling it to do that. The second most crucial thing is that it generates or produces these redox signaling molecules in large quantities in our cells. Now, what happens is that when the cells are producing the redox signaling molecules, they're producing them, and right after it's produced, it has to be utilized. Because in order for your cells to be able to operate properly, they need to be able to communicate to each other effectively. And also that they need to signal each other, okay, I want you to close. So then the part of the cell that is making this eye close and this one open is there. It's hearing what the brain is trying to communicate to it, and it's doing that. If you want your leg to do this, then the brain is telling the leg, here, this is what the left leg, I want you to do that. But if there's no proper communication and coordination between the cells, the signaling that your brain is telling, hey, this is what I want you to do, then instead of doing this, it's doing that, or it's doing this. The converse to what's signaling, it's be the messaging that is given it, it's like it's not getting it. And when that happens, then your body is not going to be able to function the way that it has to. And those are just things that your cells are itself able to do for themselves. Now, here is the unfortunate situation. When you're born and you're a baby, your cells are fresh. Everything, God has made it so fantastic. No rubber has been torn off of your cells yet. So you're in the most purest form possible. Then your mama brings you to a place like this, Earth, that other people have been in existence before you. And they've made this place into some kind of a mambo-jumbo place. They've messed up things. There's so many chemicals and toxins and all kinds of things out here that are polluting you, whether you like it or not, because you're just a person. You were brought out fresh, nice and clean. But you've come to an unclean place with all the burning of fuels and all kinds of things. With modernization and technology, whilst it's helped us and made us able to do a lot of things, there's also the downside to it. There's a lot of pollution all around us. Even here, right now, as I'm talking to you, and my body is undergoing pollution from the camera that I'm talking to you on. If I don't turn it on, you won't see me. You won't hear what I'm telling you. So I have to put it on. But unfortunately, the things that are the components of my phone, they're also exhibiting and emitting. That's the word I'm trying to use here. I can't even speak anymore. Emitting a lot of harmful things back to me. Right? So we're faced with it wherever we go. The fork you're putting in your mouth, it has things that are not good for you. They're made of metals. The pots you cook in, the same thing. The lights you turn on, your computer. Like we're just faced with it everywhere we go. And whether we like it or not, life is advancing and you have to move with the times. I can't for the life of me think how you're going to survive now if you don't have no smartphone. Some people say, I don't have any phone. But their life is so complicated because they've been left behind. I spoke to this woman recently, had to do with work. And she said to me, I'm not into any of you guys' technology and everything. Why can't I just go to my bank and pay this bill? I said, but it's not straightforward anymore. Because there's so many different ways of doing things now. And if you're not prepared to get abreast with the time, then it's going to be painful for you, unfortunately. You guys should have sent me this thing and I should have received it all this time. Well, that's snail mail, honey. How many people receive mail in the mail anymore? How many people write letters anymore? I'm sorry, darling, but you're in the Stone Age. If you don't learn how to use computer or your phone and be able to just log into something and be able to see the same information, then I'm sorry, darling, but you're going to have to wait. It's as simple as that. She didn't like it, but it's the truth. And so for us as well, it's important that as life is advancing, as things are changing all around us, that we're also learning how we as people can also get abreast with the times. Redox and cellular health is what is on now. It's the type of health and wellness that is in vogue today. If you don't know about it, my sister, then you're also in that Stone Age. I also didn't know about it, but the difference between you and I is that when I found out about it, now I want to know everything there is to know about it. Because it's helped me. I had an open mind that if something doesn't cause me no harm and it can only do me good, why not? What is the harm here? I've tried to do it myself. I entrusted my body into the hands of medics and I love them. I have family members that are medics, so don't think here for a second and think that I'm knocking them or I'm being negative. I have a sister who is a doctor. My own sister, the smallest one. She's a medical doctor, so I'm not knocking. I love her to bits. They have their place. I have the utmost respect for them. I'm a scientist myself. I didn't go into medicine because I'm very squeamish with blood. When I see blood, it does something to me. So no, I couldn't do that. But I still understand how it works and what the concepts are all about. Please, at least let's have an open enough mind as a people, as Africans, as Black people, as people from the Caribbean, as people from the Black descent. You know, one of the things that I find that doesn't really help us much is that we don't have an open mind about wanting to understand how things are working, wanting to dip our foot in there a little bit more to see what is happening. We are very close-minded people, unfortunately. Sometimes I think it has roots in the fact that we've had to push a lot and fight a lot and be able to survive. I get that. But because we've been faced with all of those things through the generations, I think it's done something to our heads and our brains. And you need to actually become intentional about saying that, hey, everything is happening about me. How comes I'm always the last person to find out about this? I need to do something. And do something about it. And do something about it. Do you know that redox and cellular health has been around for a decade and a half? Like, the day I found out from Pastor Patience that that was the case, I was so furious. You know why? Because in the last 15 years, that would take us back to 2009. If I had access to redox back then, if I can begin to tell you some of the things that I could have saved this poor body of mine from, it brings tears to my eyes. Because 2009, that was the same time that I had this leiomyosarcoma. It's a form of cancer in your soft tissue. And I had to go through different levels of surgical stuff to do with that. It was a very traumatic time for me. And I was just a little 28-year-old child at that time. Very painful. Very painful. Now, all of that perhaps could have been avoided if I knew about cellular health back then and had access to all the stuff that I have access to today. So that's anger, that frustration that, so I've been living all this 50 years painfully and had maybe another 6 to 8 surgeries that could have possibly been prevented, and I've put my body through all of that? No, then it's time. This is why I am so passionate and I'm so angry and I'm so everything inside of me. And I want everybody who wants to listen to me to listen. Because whether you like it or not, there is some discomfort that you're feeling in your body. I don't care who you are, but if you're in your 40s, you possibly have even a slight elevation in your blood pressure. There are very few people who will sit here in their 40s and tell me they have never been to the doctors where they said, I think your blood pressure is slightly elevated today. What can we do about it? And you're sat there. Pastor Patience has been on this channel for the past 3 years, maybe more. But I only came 3 years into it, so that I can only talk about when I met her and the different things that she was talking about. And she's been here talking. Hey guys, you know, this is happening. It's out there. If you're interested, please contact me. And we're all just sitting there. We're all just sitting there, not doing anything. And you're sitting and living with your problem. And suffering in silence. I know what I went through, and it wasn't funny. When I had that leiomyosarcoma, I thought it was the end of my life. Today I can talk about it and not be emotional. A few years back, I would have been crying. Because when I think about all the emotions and the things that was going on in my mind at that time, I had just gotten married at that same time. I was having issues, fertility problems. Like, there were so many things happening to me. And then on top of that, to now find out that this is what has happened to me. I started telling my family, when I die, I don't want you to take me back to Ghana. I just want to be buried here in England. I want this, I want that. I want this, I want that. Can you imagine what my parents were going through? Listening to their daughter, the oldest one, telling them these things. They are still alive. And I'm there busy planning my funeral because I thought it was a death sentence. I thank God that I survived. I do. But I even thank God more now that I met Pastor Patience, because she had to be the person that talked about redox that I now know about and that I'm now taking. And I'm healing myself day by day. My body is healing itself day by day by day by day. Every day there's something little that is fixing in this body of mine. After 17 incisions to this same old body. And so, my darling, it's no easy fate. It's not something funny for us to be talking about here, or be joking about here, or, you know, oh, I've heard Pastor Patience talk about it. Now this seeker girl is also talking about it. But, you know, maybe next month, I don't have money now. You know, these things, I don't know. Let me just leave it and I'll think about it later. If you don't understand something, your attitude should not be, oh, because I don't know, I don't understand it. Let me just push it into my future. You know, I'll worry about it then. Ask questions. Do you know the difference between Caucasians and us? They are very curious people. If they don't understand something, even if it's a stupid question, they'll ask it because they want to learn. They want to know something. Oh, so how does this thing? So you mean that part goes into this part? But what is that for? Why? What is redox? Never heard about it and would like to know more. That is the spirit, my darling. So redox, signaling molecules, is substances that are produced in your cells, because every part of your body, your nose, your mouth, your teeth, your hair, your eyebrows, every part of your body, when it's broken down into the simplest of forms, is made up of cells. A lot of cells become a part of your body. The cells have something inside of it called the mitochondrion that has a lot of functions. But the ones that are of interest to me today to talk about is that the mitochondrion is the producer of the energy that your cells need to be able to function, so that your heart can beat, so that your liver can, you know, get rid of all the things that it needs to get rid of, so that your kidneys can excrete all the harmful toxins that need to come out and be excreted out of your body. As the patient has shared redoxscience.com. That is where you go and knock yourself out with all the knowledge and scientific basis for what I'm telling you. But I'm just making it simple for lay people to understand. The other function of the mitochondrion in your cells is the production of redox signaling molecules. And the function of that is so that your cells can be coordinated to know what they're supposed to be doing, and they can operate more effectively. 2, the cells, you know, they keep doing their work just like anything. Some of them get damaged, you know, from continuous exertion and working all the time, so they need to quickly get repaired. Some of them, they're so damaged that they just need to make new cells, and those ones need to be excreted out of your body. All of that is what the redox signaling molecules are helping your body to do. When you come out as a child born into the surface of this planet, God in his infinite wisdom already puts this redox signaling molecules and your cell's ability to produce more of it inside of us. So this is something natural. You were born with it. Your body already knows how to do it and is doing it in your cells from the time you were born. But the unfortunate thing is that, as with anything, we are born, we're faced with all the pollution, and also we are aging. We get older. So when you're getting older, your cells are also getting older. So the, efficient manner in which it was doing it when you're younger, it won't be able to do it to that same degree when you're older. And so you need to top up. You need to add on. Okay, my cells are naturally producing and making this redox signaling molecules already in my body, but I need to top it up with more of the same so that I can keep dis-ease and discomfort at bay, and I can still keep living this optimal healthy living inside of my body. This is where the redox that I've been taking inside of my body for the last 15 months comes in, because I need to top up what my cells are already making with more of the same. Now, the redox signaling molecules that are made in your body, they're not made and stored in some part of your body, like there's some warehouse in your body. So when the cells make it, then it pushes it to that warehouse. No. When the cells are making the redox, the body is also using the redox immediately. So now, if the body needs to have more of this redox signaling molecules, and the redox signaling molecules cannot be made and stored anywhere, the cells have to be using as they're making, then it means that any company that is going to make the redox has to also have the ability to stabilize this redox and keep it there for a set time, so that when you buy it, there's a time frame where you can still take the redox and it will still be redox, and your body can recognize it and utilize it to give you this optimum healing that you're looking for. That is a whole new concept on its own. And there's just one company that has been able so far to make this redox signaling molecules, one, but also be able to stabilize it so we can package it into bottles, into containers, and it has a shelf life where it's still doing the same things that the redox that you already have in your body is doing, so that you're topping up and it's helping your body to do the things that it needs to do. You can have the optimum health. It's keeping all these discomfort and diseases away from you, and you're just happy and life is happening for you. Now, so I hope you've understood everything I've said up until then. Now, there's one company and one company alone, and I thank God every day for the vision, for the founders, for the people that made it, because now it's available for people like me to be able to consume and have and continue to heal of all the traumas that my body has had to be subjected to, unfortunately. One company. Pastor Patience works with that company. She has all the experience. She's been trained. She's my cellular health coach. She is my cellular health coach. Pastor Patience, by virtue of her name, is a minister of the gospel. So, her reputation precedes her. She has a name on her name that she has to protect. Her credibility matters to her, just like me. I will not talk about something that I haven't used, doesn't work for me, I don't know nothing about, and come and sit here publicly when you can all see my face and be talking about something I know nothing about. Because my name means something to me too. So it's a very perfect match. She loves me, I love her. She's my cellular health coach. She has the know-how. I listen, I follow, I'm learning. And very soon, I'm also going to get the same training that she has, because I'm so excited about what Redox has done for me that I want to know more and more and more and more every single day, so that I can also do what she does, and together be able to help more people to have optimal living. Pastor Patience has been on redox signaling molecules for the last 3 years and counting. I don't think she's ever going to quit drinking it or taking it. And I ain't leaving either. Because what this thing has done for me in 15 months, hey, I don't take no pain medications that much anymore. I don't have to sit and pop 10 pills a day, morning, afternoon, evening anymore. That is a huge thing for me. My kidney and my liver can finally rest after all the trauma that it's been subjected to. Now, why redox? Why should I take? You are listening to me. What is all this noise about redox? What is it? If you've listened to anything I've said, I've not been a very lucky person with my health. I've had 17 incisions on some part of my body or another. That should tell you. I haven't been lucky at all with my health. But even if you don't have 17 incisions or have any issues or anything that is wrong with you, the fact of the matter is that if you want to keep not being in that place or coming into that zone of discomfort and, having issues, then, taking the redox signaling molecules to maintain and prevent, isn't that a good thing? Should you sit around and wait until discomfort comes, like you start feeling a twinge before you do something about it? Should you? Does that seem prudent? Does it? Like, for somebody who wants to live their best life, shouldn't you do everything that you possibly can to protect yourself? Should you wait till the issue comes before you do something about it? Like when you build a house or you have a company, you insure it against bad weather. How do I say it? Like there's been an excessive amount of rainfall and there's flooding. You protect and insure the house against armed robbers and thieves and all kinds of things breaking in. You do all kinds of things. So why don't you do the same thing to this body that is allowing you to go around and do all the things that you do? That seems very prudent to me, but I don't know about you. But if you really seriously want to live a best life and keep all these diseases and discomforts, the hypertensions and all these things at bay, then I'm telling you that the natural way to do it, the more progressive way to do it, the more cost-effective way to do it is to go down the cellular health route, to do it naturally. Redox is not a medicine. It's not a vitamin. It's not an exotic fruit juice. If you listen to what I said so far, you would know that this is something that has been scientifically made. Scientifically made. The top-notch scientists, physicists, chemists, all kinds of people that have come together to make this product that is a scientific biotech product that we are consuming. So it's not some juju something or some mystified thing that we are taking. This is a scientifically made biotech product. Bio meaning that your body already knows what it is. It doesn't have to figure out what the components are and now break it down and see whether it makes sense. No. But let me tell you something. All these medicines that we take, I have one here. Which one is this one? This one is Mylan naproxen. This is something that would be something I'll be popping day after day, especially in this weather, because the pain is unbearable. Minus 30 something out there today. So this is something that I would have been taking at this time because the disease and discomfort I'm feeling as a result of osteoarthritis in different parts of my body is unbearable. So I would have been taking this. Right? Now, this thing that we are talking about here, there's so many things that's in there. And when I consume it, I pop the pill and I drink water and it goes down. my kidney, my liver has to break all this thing. The whole thing has to be broken down. Now my brain together with my liver and the rest of my body have to. So this myelin naproxen thing, what is this supposed to do? What is in it? My body now has to figure all of that out. Break it down. Oh, okay, it's supposed to help with the knee. And now, distribute it where it needs to go. It sinks in my bloodstream, and now I'm not feeling this discomfort anymore. But that is just dealing with a symptom, the pain, because the nerves around the places that have the arthritis are painful. They're sore. They're inflamed. So hey, you're feeling the pain. That is just numbing the pain. It's not dealing with the nerves around there that are inflamed, because that is the root cause of my problem. If the nerves can relax and not be in tension and therefore become inflamed and hurt so much, then I won't have no pain. But a lot of this is just dealing with my pain. It's not dealing with the nerve issue that I have. The discomfort that I'm feeling, it's all is dealing with. Okay, let's numb this pain. Let's take this pain away. Is this solving the root cause of my problem? Which is that the cartilage on my bones are wearing, and so it hurts. And so the nerves around there are raw, because now it's bone to bone, and there are nerves inside the bone. And that is what the touching is what is making it hurt me. Is it dealing with that? Or is it just solving the pain? That's it. And the pain comes back. By the way, the pain comes back. As soon as the few hours that the numbness effect of this is done, I'm back to the same place again. So it's a continuous cycle. You're always having to pop the pill so that you don't feel the pain. But the root cause of the issue is still there. And that's what happens to a lot of us. So yes, maybe you need the painkiller because it's that painful and you can't do nothing about it. But isn't it better that you're actually working and getting to the deep foundations of why am I having this problem? Why is it uncomfortable? Rather than just solving the pain issue. Once the pain is gone, oh, I don't feel the pain anymore. So that's the end of the story. That's not how you do things. So it's been 15 months now since I started taking Redox, and it's done an awful lot of things for me. But you've heard me say 15 months, not 1 day, not 2 days, not 1 week, not 1 month, 15 of those months. And I'm still on it. Even if I'm cured of everything that I have, I will still keep taking it because I don't want it to come back. I want to have optimum health so I can do everything I want to do. All the goals can be realized. There's so many things I've had to either delete from my life or put on hold because I've always had discomfort and disease. This discomfort and disease has robbed me out of my teenage and young adult years. I'm not about to allow it to take the little bit of life I have left inside of me. So you know what? I am going to stay on this Redox. Till. That is my choice. But you do what works for you. But some of us say we want Redox. We want Redox. We want Redox. Okay, now you have this Redox. You started it. Let's say in my testimony, I come and say that, I took this Redox for 2 days, and within 2 days, that pain that I was feeling in my hip that prevented me from being able to wake up in the morning, it disappeared. So because you heard me say that, you are also now thinking that, well, if Sika took it and after 2 days, she didn't have this discomfort in her hip anymore, how comes I've been taking it for 3 months and it's like I'm not seeing anything? Let me explain something to you. Everybody's composition is very different. How do you even know what level of Redox I already have in my body? Because I told you that we all have some of it inside of us, and this is just to top up what our body is making with more of the same. Our body makeup is not the same. You and me, we don't bear the same surname. We don't have the same blood type. Even if we are all A positive, which is my blood type, there are other things that go into blood type that you and I won't have the same of. Our genes are not the same. Maybe you're A positive, but you also have sickle cell anemia. I don't. Or maybe I have it and you don't. You don't know nothing about me and my genetic composition. How much redox does she have in her body? How much toxins do I have in my body? What is my toxicity level? You don't know nothing about none of that. So you can't expect that because it worked for this person in this time, in this way, it has to do the same thing for me. Because we all have different issues that we're dealing with. If I have high blood pressure and you have high blood pressure, the numbers will not even be the same. And the way our body responds to the same medication that we're given to control this blood pressure won't even be the same. I might be allergic to the same medicine that you are taking that is working for you, but it doesn't work for me because I'm allergic to it. There's so many people who can take things like cocodamol and tramadol. I can't. I was prescribed tramadol once and I almost died. The allergic reaction was so severe, I had to be in hospital. But somebody else can take tramadol and be walking around as if nothing happened. I have allergies you don't. You have a body I don't have. So we are all very different. And so don't take redox because, Pastor Patience says she took it for 3 days and she could walk. So me too, when I take it for 2 days, I should also be able to walk. Your body type is different. Your issues are different. We're all completely different people. She's had a lot of successes in her journey. I've listened to her story and how this miracle of redox has helped her. But the things that she suffered are not the same as mine. I've had my own gynae issues for 30-something years. Maybe Pastor Patience don't have that issue. So my body is dealing with my gynae issue that she doesn't have. Or even if she does, it's not the same thing. So we just need to understand things that we would normally understand with everything else. But when it comes to something that is really going to help us, then we start putting all kinds of barriers and guards and all kinds of things up. And it's very hilarious when I see people do that. Because when you go to your doctor and your doctor is telling you that I can see that you have pre-cancer cells and you need to go and have laser treatment, or you need to take this medication, or you need to do that, you don't question him. I have never seen any patient that goes to the hospital and is told that, you have to take naproxen, and then you're sitting there asking them, so what are the active ingredients? So why is it that they put so much sugar in this tablet? Why is it made like that? You go there literally trembling like a fish. And when they tell you that this is what you have to do, you obey it to the T. If you have to wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning and take it, you will wake up at 1:55 and take the pill and go back to bed. But when we're talking about natural things, like this is something that is already in you. Your body knows it. This is no magical nothing. This is redox, which is inside you right now. It's there. You're just topping it up with more of the same. Oh, I want to take it. I don't know. You make up all kinds of excuses. The most outrageous things. Just to make yourself, I don't know whether it's to make yourself feel good or to make yourself feel important. I don't understand what it is. But whatever the issue is, my darling, you have suffered with your conditional for so many years. You know it. You're listening to me. You've had this blood pressure issue. You've had this diabetes issue. You've had this numbness in your fingertips for years. And you've been keeping quiet about it. You're suffering, no? You've been taking all these things that you've been told to take, but you're just quietly there. You're just doing. But when somebody is talking about their own experience and what has happened to them by doing natural things that are helping them, and you decide that you want to embark on that journey, at least open up your mind to learn and research. Ask for more information. I get it. It's your body. You have every right to want to know what you're putting inside of it. It makes sense. I would. You only live once. I get it. But don't close your mind. Don't allow the ignorance to overshadow everything. That instead of asking the relevant questions that are going to push you forward, you're just putting all these kinds of roadblocks and impediments in people's way and wasting people's time for nothing. Because that's counterproductive. And I'm not here forcing you that at all costs you have to take this redox. You must do it. I am here because I've been through so much. I can't begin to tell you. 17 ups on this poor body of mine. 17 incisions on this poor body. I wish I could show you, but I can't. I wish I could show you, but I can't. At least there's one of them in a place that I can show you. Have you seen my finger? Can you see that this part of my finger has been cut? Let me show you my hand. Have you seen? Because I had this wart. It was a growth that was growing inside my hand, inwardly, pushing on every single nerve you can think about. I couldn't do this. And that thing, they had to cut inside of the hand and remove whatever was growing inside there, out of it, and stitch it. And so you see how my hand is now. It's like this whole place has been mashed up and it's all lumped together as one part of my finger. Can you see it? That I can show you. Because, in social media going to say that I've put indecent imagery on the things. But some of the things are in places I can't show you without exposing myself. I've had all kinds of things. My tonsils have been removed. I've had all kinds of... I told you about this Leo Mayo thing. Fibroids, this, that. And on these legs of mine, the doctors have done very nice graffiti on my legs. And so I've been through a lot of discomfort. I know what discomfort means. Yesterday, I was talking to my mom, and she said to me that, my daughter, you've been through so much. I'm not saying this because I want to make you have any pity party, anything, but sometimes when I think about all the things that you've had to endure, and still have the ability to be laughing and, have this resolve, I don't even know how God made it that you have this strength of purpose to keep going. Because so many people like you would have given up by now, but you're still going. And that is just the life, honey. If you want to make something of yourself, I want you to understand today that you deserve a good life. A lot of us, our life has been struggle life. Survival mode because, of the backgrounds that we've had, the homes that we were born into. Maybe there wasn't a lot of money. And so you struggled all your life and you think that that just has to be your life. You deserve better. You deserve a good life. You do. And you deserve a discomfort-free life so that you can enjoy all that life out there has to offer. When this whole crazy freeze goes away and the flowers begin to bloom, I want to be able to get out there and be so excited to enjoy the spring and the summer. So me, I'm dosing up on this Redox like crazy because I'm not wasting a second out in here when the weather improves. Me and cold weather, we're not good friends. If you know what a chronic osteoarthritis is like, and you have spurs on your bones, you would understand what I'm saying. You have all kinds of metal chippings and all kinds of things like Humpty Dumpty having to put together again. You would understand me. And so me and cold weather, we're not good friends. I'm not going to lie about it. We're not. But when the spring blooms and the flowers are coming out and the weather is warmer, I'm not spending a day inside. I'm out there. I'm having fun. So my darling, you deserve it. You deserve the best of everything that this life has to offer you. The question is, what price tag are you putting on the things that matter? Are you just going to sit around, just listen to what I've said and, just put the phone down? This girl, she makes too much noise. And that's the end of it. Or are you actually going to go forward and say, okay, this thing that this young woman was talking about, now I need to research this thing further, understand it for myself. Let me go and follow Pastor Patience's page because she talks about it too. She has the know-how, so let me go and ask her a question. If you're not following her on Facebook, she won't see any of your messages, so you have to follow her first. That's the first thing you need to do. Or send her a friend request and she'll add you on somehow. But you have to do something. Follow. Or send her a friend request or request to be her friend. And then go and ask her the questions. Let her answer it for you. And have an open mind. That's the only way you learn something. But if you're going to go through life and be this person that is stuck up and doesn't want to hear anything, then maybe Redox is not for you, and that's fine too. In this life, we all have choices. You do what works for you. You do what works best for you. I'm not forcing you. I'm just telling you what has worked for me. So that if you're interested in exploring it further and doing something that's going to help you too, then at least you're aware of what I've been doing. And you have the opportunity to do too. Hello, my darling Ohimajua. How are you doing, sweetheart? It's been a long time. Happy New Year. Sister Mary, how are you? So me, I've been using Redox. I love it so much. I've been on it for a time. I love it so much. This is just one of many products that I use. But this one, you can't go wrong on. This is another one that helps me so much. Oh, Redox, thank you. And it helps me so much. I apply it to all these places of my body where I'm having the dis-ease and discomfort. And slowly but surely, my cells are being put back together again. That is what Redox does. It takes the destroyed parts of your body that have been put through so much and makes it into a whole new cell that can now help me rock better and be able to have the life that I deserve. I've been through so much. I can't begin to tell you. So painful. 17 incisions. If you've not had one up, you won't be able to understand what I'm saying to you. 17 of them I've had in different parts of my body, from gynae issues to leiomyosarcoma to osteoarthritis to all kinds of things I've had going on. It's not been a pleasant journey for me. And so to find something that is finally giving me a good life, 15 months down the line, I can count the last time I had to pop a pill. Yeah, that's a very good time for me. As somebody that went through all of that, very good time for me. And so I don't know what your own situation is, but I'm just telling you that you have Redox in your body already. You just need to top up with more of the same so that your body can begin to heal itself. You know, this body has the ability to do things. So if you give it the right things, it will do the right things for you. I am not saying stop taking your medications. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a medic. Let me put that out there. But I'm just sharing my good news and my story and what has happened for me in my own life with you. We are not in Africa yet. I wish we were. Because if we were now, I can get even my parents on Redox. It's work in progress. And one of the people pushing, that's the patients pushing. But unless there's enough of us here sharing this video so that other people back there who also need it will also start saying, oh, I want it, oh, I need it for my mom, I need it for my dad, I need it for my uncle, nothing's gonna happen. So if you know you want Redox to be sent to other parts of the world, it's up to you to share the video. Let other people know about it. And if we have enough people they're expressing interest and will actually, you know, take that next step and order the products, then yes, we will, you know, lobby the company to do drop shipment to different parts. So it's not just Ghana, Africa in general. So if you live in Nigeria and you know that you want Redox in Nigeria, you better start sharing the video so that other people will hear about it. And there's enough of us that want it and are lobbying them, please, so let's send it to our people and they will do it for us. Please. Don't be people that hear information and are selfish about it. This is social media. Social media. That means we're being sociable. Being sociable means that you care about somebody else's problem enough that you at least just press the share button. It doesn't cost you anything. You're listening to me. You've been watching for the last hour and a half and some. Just press the share button. Just share. That's it. And let it go somewhere. So somebody else can know, oh, so who is this person? Oh, what is she talking about? I need to know more. Contact me, Pastor Patience. Do whatever you need to do. But you want to know more about Redox. And that is what is going to save us in this 2024 of ours. In this era, in this generation. And so I love you all so much. I don't have anything else to say other than, rather than sit around and be skeptical and ask all kinds of questions that are irrelevant, maybe it's time for you to open up your mind. What is all this Redox? What is cellular health? And do your own research about it. The last thing that I'll say before I hang up here is that some people always think that they be over sabi. So you've heard me talk about Redox. You've heard me talk about Redox. This product that this girl was holding up, what is it at all? Let me go and see. I think I've seen this thing somewhere. Let me go and get it myself. If you don't go to the right source and you go and do your own thing and you end up with issues, please don't call me because I ain't know you. I have said it, you know, I don't know how many times, that in order for me to trust this, I had to go to somebody that I trusted on social media because I know her credibility matters to her. I went to Pastor Patience. If you want to use Redox, you too, go to Pastor Patience, please. The same source. Because that I can vouch for. That's where I got my own product from. That I can vouch for. And so, just go and follow her. There's nothing wrong with asking for friend requests. Her name is Patience O. Edwards on social media. We are always looking for platforms that we can elevate ourselves and learn from. Why not go there and listen to what she has to say about different facets of our lives, but especially because on that platform, she talks a lot about redox. And you would learn so much about the different issues that we are facing as people and how to help ourselves. A word to the wise is enough. I've said my bit. I've said what has to be said. I've done the needful. The rest is up to you. If you want to hear about redox, type in the word redox. Go to Pastor Patience's page, Patience O. Edwards, and ask for a friend request or follow her page. And then when you ask her a question via the messenger, she will see you and she would answer you. Maybe you've had enough. You just want to take the plunge and just start using redox. Maybe that's your situation, because I've talked about it quite a bit now. Please, Pastor Patience is a redox practitioner. I've said it enough times. She has the know-how and the experience to assist you. Please. Okay, now, once you've gone to her, you've heard about it, you've decided that you want to continue, go and buy from the source. That is her and the company that she works for. If you go and buy anything anywhere else, I can't guarantee that what you bought is the same thing that we've been talking about. Because that company has made it such that this is a product that is going to help people. So they have to keep it safe. They don't want people to make any other thing and claim that it's that same product. So please, it helps when you follow simple instructions. When you go to your doctor and you're given a prescription, because it happens to me a lot, they'll tell you specifically where to go get it. Sometimes it's not because they're trying to sell you, they want you to use their pharmacy. They know the source, that this person, this is where they order the products from. It's authentic, it's original, it's safe, the way it's made is better. Go here, ask for this specific brand, go to this person. So please, I want us all to be safe. I want us all to be well in 2024. Use the right access that I've told you, the right route. Follow the simplest of instructions. And let's get better together. Pastor Patience will help you get the authentic, original product. If you go to third parties like eBay and Amazon and all these are Facebook Market and all these other places, I don't know what you've bought, because that's not what I used. Neo, I went to the same source. I kept to that straight line. I didn't meander anywhere. I didn't try to do things for myself because I need the original product. So please, just do simple things like do it this way. This is how I've done it. And I want to make sure you do it the same way. So just do it the same way so that we can all have the same good outcomes and we can all talk about it. I've said everything, I think, that there needs to be said today. It's okay to want more information. RedoxScience.com has a lot of that. If you're ready to order the products, go to Pastor Patience. You need to follow her page to be able to get access to her. And that's it. I love you so much. I want to see us all living this life like in 2024. All excited, living the best lives that we possibly can. No discomfort in any part of our bodies. Healing of years of issues that have been happening to us. I'm still on my journey. I'm still recovering. Every day is a new day for something else to be repaired in my body. As long as you're alive, there'll always be things that need fixing, things that you're not even aware of. So please, Let's embark on this journey. Let's be excited about it. And let's do the needful. I love you so much. Look after yourself. Take care of yourself. Remain beautiful, handsome. And please watch this video. If you haven't watched this video, go back and watch the video. Share the video with your friends and family. There are other people that also need to hear about it. I love you so much. Mwah. Have a fantastic rest of your Sunday. God bless you. Bye-bye.